How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. My name is Zach Hicks, your resident film nerd of HorseshoeHuddle.com and your favorite co-host over at the Locked On Colts podcast. Veteran tight end Mo Alie-Cox is among the longest tenured players on this Indianapolis Colts roster. He's been a staple of this Colts team for the duration of the Chris Ballard era, and his steady presence has always brought utility to the offense and also over to special teams. Today's free agent profile looks at the possibility of the 32-year-old tight end returning for a 10th year with the Indianapolis Colts. In case you guys have lived under a rock and haven't heard every single announcer talk about it for the last 10 years, Alie-Cox has had a very, very unorthodox journey to the NFL, as he only played 1 year of football in high school. That was his freshman year of high school before transitioning over to basketball. He excelled on the hardwood, earning a scholarship to attend VCU back in 2013. He was a fan favorite for the high-paced VCU Rams, starting at power forward for his final 3 seasons with the program. And just so you guys know, and I've been very open about this over the years, I was a big VCU Rams fan back when I was a kid, back in 2013, back in 2014, around that time when they were making like runs in the tournament with Shaka Smart as their head coach. And Mo Alie-Cox was very much like a Kenneth Fareed type of player, just this defensive animal, kind of undersized for the position, but just played with so much intensity and fun. They were a heavy press coverage. So they were a full court press type of system there with VCU, and this 6'6" power forward was just running up and down the court like nothing. Tons of blocks. Had this really famous thing called Mo Says No whenever he got a block, which was really fun. But he finished his college career with the Rams as their all-time leader in field goal percentage, while averaging 7.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks per game. As his college career came to a close, though, it became pretty clear there wasn't much of a role for a 6'6" defensive-focused power forward at the NBA level, so he decided to go back to his roots with football, and the Colts signed him as an undrafted free agent back in 2017, and he became a roster mainstay by September of 2018. Alie-Cox's receiving prowess was on full display in his first season with the Colts in that 2018 year, as he made a highlight reel 26-yard touchdown reception against the Oakland Raiders in October of 2018. We all remember that catch. That was all the catch where it was like, oh my gosh, we have the next Tony Gonzalez. We have the next Antonio Gates coming up, a basketball guy who can make catches like this. Now, he never really lived up to that kind of potential going forward, but that flash in the pan was so much fun as a Colts fan, seeing what he was able to do on that one play in particular with Andrew Luck throwing him the football. And while he didn't really produce as much as a receiver the rest of that season, his blocking prowess really earned him a spot on the 53-man roster going forward. He was sitting behind guys like Jack Doyle and Eric Ebron for the 2018 and 2019 seasons, and he developed into one of the better blocking tight ends in all of football, graded out very well by Pro Football Focus in that span, and really took a step forward with his game and became a more well-rounded player. The hype around Alie-Cox, though, continued to grow after his receiving game took a pretty big step forward with Phillip Rivers at quarterback in 2020. He hit a career-high 394 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns that season, and then followed it up with another 316-yard season with 4 touchdowns in 2021 with Carson Wentz. So when Jack Doyle retired at the end of the 2021 season, the Colts quickly signed Alie-Cox to a 3-year, $18 million contract to be the team's new top player at the position. Now, the result of that contract was not great. Over the 3 years that he was under that contract, making $6 million per year, he never broke 200 yards receiving, struggled to even get over 100 yards in a couple of those seasons. The receiving production just dipped a good bit, and the Colts struggled to find any rhythm on that side of the football. It became clear early on that he was just not destined to be this full-time pass catcher that could be a tight end 1 on the team, and that his best role was more of a blocking tight end 2 in this league. So he made a few high leverage catches from 2022 to 2024, but he was really miscast as that position, especially when Shane Steichen came to town in 2023. They were in shotgun like 91% of the time. They're running 11 personnel at one of the highest rates in football. And Mo is just not a guy who can be an 11 personnel, like by himself tight end that gives you a threat in the passing game. So he was really miscast with this team, especially early on in the Shane Steichen era. And it felt like after the 2024 season that his time with the team would finally be over. You know, the team drafted Tyler Warren to replace his role at the top of the depth chart. But they still decided to bring back the veteran tight end to serve as that tight end two behind Warren. And with Warren clearly defining the rest of the roster, the rest of that depth chart there at tight end, I think Mo had his best season in years with the Colts in 2025. There was still very little receiving production. Like, it was pretty lackluster overall, just 13 receptions for 117 yards and a touchdown. But he was the perfect pair as an inline blocker alongside Warren's abilities as a move tight end this past season. He scored his highest blocking grade according to Pro Football Focus since the 2020 season, and he was graded out as the second highest pass blocking tight end in football by the site. One of his best plays of the year, I think, was when he was blocking Will Anderson one-on-one in the last game of the season. That's what made me really take notice. Like, yes, the pass blocking has taken big steps forward for this veteran, strong tight end. So when you look at the film, so much of what the Colts did this past season was a result of Mo's ability to do that dirty work. He took on tough assignments, and he freed up Warren to be this flashy rookie that could get these scheme touches and get those 800 yards out there. You know, the two worked exceptionally well together, and both players were better as a result. Mo still made a few high leverage catches as well in the passing game, most notably his touchdown catch versus Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 17, and then a fake punt reception versus Houston in Week 18. So even when the receiving production really isn't there, you can always count on Mo for a couple fourth down catches or a couple of red zone catches each and every season to keep this Colts in the positive on offense. So overall, man, Mo is just, he's not a must re-sign player for the Colts. He's not a guy where it's like you come out of this offseason saying, if we don't re-sign Mo, it's the end of the world. But he's certainly a guy that you'd want to have back. He slides in perfectly with Tyler Warren as the ideal second tight end in the Colts 12 personnel looks, especially with Shane Steichen's like more of a move to under center 12 and 13 personnel looks this past season. He just makes life easier for the offense. He's an unsung hero on this team, and the utility that he brings to the offense is very valuable. So give him another year and bring Mo back home this offseason. I'd love to see Mo just finish up his career with the Colts. I don't know how much longer he has left, but he's been just a high utility player. And as long as he's not making $6 million a year like he was from 2022 to 2024, he is a valuable player for this Colts team. So Mo Alie-Cox, again, not a must re-sign for the Colts this offseason, but getting him back here on like another 1-2 year deal just to be that tight end two behind Tyler Warren, I think would make a ton of sense for both sides. But that's all we have for today, guys. Join us again next week as we cover another free agent profile, probably going into a Daniel Jones or an Alec Pierce next.